Welcome to the Backpacking Podcast. My name is John Kelly. Along with me today is my good friend, as always, Jeremiah Stringer. And Jeremiah, we are officially in the new Casa de Stringer.
Yes, welcome to the party, man.
Dude, this is quite the casa you've got going on.
Well, thanks.
It's really nice. I mean, people level up on things all the time.
Yeah.
That's a phrase a lot of people use. You know, some guys, they level up on their gear when they're backpacking. Or some people level up on their cars. Dude, you straight up leveled up on this house.
Well, the house market's crazy right now, so I'm very blessed and got lucky.
Yeah, you got a killer. I'm not going to say the money on this or anything like that, but you got a killer deal on the house from what you told me. So
yeah, I got a good deal, and the best thing is, we're sitting in a dedicated studio. This is only for this whole room that we're sitting in is only for like my backpacking YouTube, all that kind of stuff.
It's not sharing as a dog kennel / studio.
Exactly. My old studio, nobody could ever see. So for those that don't know, I have a YouTube channel called Jeremiah Stringer Hikes.
Cheap plug.
Yeah, shameless plugs for days. And the room that I was recording everything in, nobody could see it because of the camera angles. But right next to me, or sometimes I'd have to take them down, were these giant dog kennels. And now they're in a different room. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see, like behind us, I got some backpacking gear, have some shelves and stuff in here. So actually everything fits in this one little room.
Yeah, man, it's great. Like all your stuff's in here. You got a nice little area, several places where if you want to do videos and things, you can.
Yeah, I got the whole editing set up. You want everything efficient. You know,
Yeah.
You want to be able to, like, if you're going to shoot videos inside, which I like shooting outside a whole lot. I've been shooting up here on top of this hill. But you want to be able to just unplug from the camera and plug straight into the computer to edit. And then you can produce better content because you're using less energy working on things that are monotonous and don't matter.
Yeah, and you are literally like a block from Lake Cumberland.
Yes, I grew up on Lake Cumberland, and actually it's funny. Right now, as we're recording this, it's wintertime. But
it's not winter.
No, it's like yesterday was 68 degrees, I think. I took the
Yeah.
dogs for a walk.
Yeah.
And my buddy texted me this morning, and he was like, hey, man, what are you doing Friday between 9 and 2 p.m.? I was like, that's oddly specific. And I was like, I don't have anything planned except I'm going to be getting ready to watch college football playoffs. And he was like, well, we're going kayaking. And I was like, in the wintertime? He's like, the high 72 degrees. I was like, yeah.
Oh, this is my vacation week.
Okay.
So yesterday I was at the Red River Gorge. Technically, I was at the Clifty Wilderness.
Yeah, what'd you do?
And I just did some day hiking, hiked about 6 miles out there, and checked out Copper's Falls, which I'd never been to before.
Oh, beautiful. Did you go on
First
top
time.
of it?
Yeah. Hiked up. Mr. Backpacking with Jason Sir gave me a tip on how to get up there, and did that. That was awesome. Just got to video for the channel and got to do it outdoors, which for me is a little more difficult because I live in a subdivision with a loud highway just behind my house. And so I really enjoyed being able to be outside doing that. So that was nice.
Yeah, Copper's Falls, I've been there. It's got a little pool at the bottom. And it seems like in the summertime, as long as it's running well, that would be a super cool area to camp in, especially the Clifty Wilderness area.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, last week, Mr. Backpacking with Jason Sir and myself took like a little overnighter. We only went in, I don't know, it wasn't very far. It was only like a 20, 25-minute walk in. But we checked out Tar Ridge. I think he texted you about sometime checking out Tar Ridge.
He and I were supposed to go a few weeks ago, and it did what it's doing today, which is why I can't go today because of all the rain and wind. So
yeah,
I want to check it out.
It's warm, but it's windy and rainy. Not a good combo.
Well, we were supposed to go out tonight.
Yeah.
You had this really cool, like, I literally can't find the trail on any website anywhere kind of place.
It's wilderness, like Clifty Wilderness,
Yeah,
Red River
yeah.
Gorge. It's more, I don't know if you'd say wild, or it's just
Rough.
less traffic.
It's rougher.
Yes.
More rugged.
So this is the same thing. There's no blazes. There are some markings on the tree where I guess somebody's taken a hatchet and kind of blazed that way. But other than that, it's all wilderness area. Like, I mean, you saw Copper's Falls. That's a very, I don't know, it's a pretty short hike in, so there's a lot of traffic.
Yeah, it's like a
out
mile
there.
and a half. Yeah.
So, but the rest of Clifty Wilderness, I mean, it's really rugged. Like Eagle's Nest is up there.
Yeah.
But anyway, Tar Ridge is over there too, and we checked it out.
I really want to go there. I've heard that there's a cool climb up this like rock formation to get up to the top of that.
Let me tell you about this little climb, this little scramble.
Oh, yeah?
So the only people out there were me and Jason, and then there was this couple, and they had this dog named Little Bear. And this dog was like 95 pounds, and it was like all furry and, I mean, very poofy, and it was 11 months old. And it was...
It's 95 pounds at 11 months?
Huge. I don't know what kind of dog it was. Gigantic.
We call those wolves.
It was very friendly.
Yeah.
And we bumped into the people like 3 or 4 times out there because it's not a very far hike. And as we were coming back, I had never been out there, but Jason had. And he's wanting to show it to both of us. And I was like, I'll go with him and check this out. And so we went, and the people were walking back out, and they're like, are you going back out to that last lookout? And we're like, yeah, we're headed out there now. And they're like, a little bit of a scramble. So I'll paint a little picture for you.
I love painted pictures from Jeremiah Stringer.
So you got a rock, right? You have to climb up it.
There's a rope on it, isn't there?
There's a rope. It's like 550 cord.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like an extravagant rappelling rope or anything like that.
No.
And then there's a tree about 20 inches away from the rock, maybe a little bit more. Maybe it's a few feet. I don't know. So anyway, to the left, everything is very safe. You got the rock, you got the tree. To the left, everything's really safe. On the other side, there's like 100-foot fall.
So you have to be really careful not to kill yourself.
Yes, and Jason's like, make sure you stay to the left. So he went up it, and I was like, man, he done that like very easily. And he had a technique. He like put his back against the tree and kind of walked himself up, and then pushed off the tree and grabbed onto the rope and pulled himself up the rest of the way. It's only like, I don't know, 7 to 10 feet up this little scramble, but with the looming fall on the other side. It's a little sketch.
Especially if you've not done it before.
Yeah, and I hadn't done it before. So Jason went up at no problem. He's like, hey, man, can you film me going up this? I was like, for sure, man. That's great footage. And I did. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to get you on the way up. That's okay. I was like, yeah, sure, go for it, man. And I swear, have you ever seen like a walrus on the beach? And it's just like trying to lug its way around.
Right.
That's what I looked like trying to go up this. I was like, he was like, don't go right. And I was like leaning over that way and just like tugging myself up by these tree roots. It was a little sketch. And I was like, man, you have to edit that out, make me look good. I was like, cut out the whole in between. Just put the beginning and the end and smash them together.
I almost went out there by myself yesterday.
You should, man.
Well, now knowing that, I'm glad I didn't, because I wouldn't have known to be careful not to go right.
Well, I mean, it would have been obvious to you. You would have got out there and been like, it's not safe. It's just like you don't even have to go out to that last point if you don't want to.
Well, I would definitely want to.
Yeah, we should go out there,
I would definitely want to, yeah.
It was really fun. And we basically went in, set up camp, and then walked 20, 30 minutes back to the vehicle and got water. There's no water out there. So you have to carry in your own water.
It's on a ridge, yeah.
Yeah, and then whenever it's time to leave, Jason had to go back. You know, he goes out like during the week a lot. Right now it's my break too.
Yeah.
I'm on vacation, so he goes out during the week a lot, and then he like goes back and works back in town. Well, I didn't have anywhere to be. He's like, I'll say bye to you, man, and check your hammock on the way out. He left probably 8 a.m. or something, and then I woke up, and it was like 10 till 10. I got some good hammock time.
So you had a good night is what you're saying.
Oh, it was great. Woke up the next morning, put my headphones in, listened to some Kentucky sports radio.
There you go.
Packed up camp, walked out.
Nice.
Oh, it was awesome, man.
So let me tell you about yesterday for me.
All right, yeah, tell me.
So it's a day hike. It wasn't meant to be a long hike or anything like that. Like I said, it's only a mile and a half out to the falls and a mile and a half back.
Yeah.
Well, I get to the parking lot where I thought the trailhead was.
Yeah.
It was not the trailhead. It was a different trail. And so I hiked almost a mile up the trail and decided, well, I should get on Gaia or wherever it was, All Trails I think it was at, and just make sure I'm at the right trail. And I look and I'm like, nope, the trail is west of me about a half a mile. All right. So I hiked right back where I came from, then hiked down the road just like not even a tenth of a mile, but they go like this. So if you're watching on video, they
diverge.
They separate as they go further up the trail. So
Yeah.
I got to the other trail, got on it, hiked up. Well, I decided I'm going to do a video for my channel while I'm out here, and there was nobody out there. Like when I got there, there was like 2 other cars, but they all went the other trail.
What time did you get there?
11 o'clock
Okay.
in the morning.
Wow, surprising there was nobody there.
Yeah, it was. Well, it's a Monday, you know.
Okay,
You know,
yeah.
so I was like, yeah, there might not be a lot of people there. So I go up the trail about a quarter of a mile, and there's a really cool spot down in this little riverbed area where the water's not real high, but it just looked cool. I was like, this would be a great spot to do part of the video. So I get down there, do my first little video thing. Everything's good. Grab my stuff, throw it on, head back up the trail a little bit. Then I see another really cool spot. So I'm like, well, I'm going to go down here and video. I get about a minute into what I'm filming, and I hear voices. It's this group of like 6 people, and they are talking loud. So I'm like, you know how it is when you're doing this stuff. You got to wait. So I just waited. I was like, hey, how you guys doing? Talking, all that. I was like, let them get up ahead of me. I won't have to worry about it the rest of the time, right? So they go on ahead. I finish up my video, get out, go hiking, and they decide they want to go off trail a little bit. So which I mean, it's an off trail anyways.
Yeah.
But they decide to go up this hillside and hike up through that area. And so they go up there, and I just keep going straight. Well, then I end up getting like way ahead of them somehow. So I get to this next spot that I want to film, and I start to film, and they're talking. I mean, it's okay. They're out there to hike. They have the right to do that. So they're talking. I'm like, okay, I'll wait. And they go right on by, and I'm good. Then I hike on up, and I think, okay, well, I'm going to stay back and let them do their thing. I don't need to go fast. So I hike on up. I get to my next spot, which is this really cool area with this log. You walk across the log to get across the creek, but it's also a good place to sit and do a video.
Sure.
So I set up the camera, or the phone technically, because I think I told you this earlier. I brought my camera with me, the one we're filming with right now.
Yeah.
I brought that camera with me, and I left my SD card at my house. So I didn't even get to use the camera. I left it in the truck, and I brought my phone. Luckily, iPhones take pretty good video. So
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm sitting on the log, videoing, and just as I finish the last like phrasing, I hear, and they'll come walking up, and I'm like, dang, I timed that well.
Yeah.
But somehow they got behind me again.
Wow. So
And so I'm
you're
like-
on unofficial trail. You're staying on the unofficial trail.
Yeah, I'm staying on the unofficial trail.
They're just kind of wandering around.
Yeah, but they were having a good time. They're
Yeah.
happy people. And so they come up and they go, does the trail go up this way? I said, I think so. So I walked up there, like, nope, it doesn't go up here. So I come back down and I realized, oh, we got to walk across this log. And another thing I forgot, which I've never forgotten on any trip ever, I forgot my trekking poles.
Oh.
And so water crossings, walking over logs and stuff, it was
Did
just
you cut
basically,
Did you cut you a stick?
no, I just figured, I'm here. It's only a mile and a half. What can happen, right?
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that in a second. So I walk across this log and get across, and I just hike right on up.
Yeah.
Because my last shot, I wanted to be the waterfall behind me. So I'm like, I'm going to hightail it so I get far enough ahead of these guys because they're much slower than I am. And so I'm like, I'll just hightail it up there. I'll get a shot. I'll get a real cool shot of the falls. I'll walk up real quick to the top, come back down, and film my last section. And that's where my mistake happened, Jeremiah. That's where I blew it because I got there and did the whole thing I just said. I got a shot of the falls, and then I walked up on top and took a quick shot from on top of the falls, and then came back down and got my tripod set up, got myself framed how I wanted it, got ready to talk, and I hear coming down. I'm like, oh, man. So they get there, and they're looking at the falls. I said, hey, did you guys know you can get to the top of the falls? I'm like, what? And I said, yeah, just walk up that trail to the right. You can get up to the falls. I knew if they did that, it'd be like 10, 15 minutes to get up there.
Yeah.
I'd have plenty of time to do this little short spot I wanted to do.
This malicious intent.
No, but
Getting these
they were super nice. They were super nice.
Yeah.
So they hiked up, and I'm like, okay, great, here we go. And then I hear little kids.
With them?
No, totally different group. It was these 2 moms with a bunch of little kids, and they come in there, and they are there for 45 minutes.
Oh, you had
So
to
I
abandon?
just sat there and waited patiently, and we talked and hung out, and I just was real
Wow.
nice because I want this shot in my video.
Yeah.
Like,
The
you know how it is.
dedication.
You know how it is though, man. If you want the shot, you got to be patient enough to get the shot. And I
Yeah.
wanted a waterfall behind me while I'm talking. Plus, it's a cool spot. You know.
Oh, it's a super cool spot.
And so I was like, well, and so I tried to tell them about the trail going up to the top, and they were like, oh, that's great. They did not bite. They stayed right down there the whole time.
Yeah.
And so the kids are yelling, screaming, running around, throwing their food in the pond to feed the fish. And Like, it was just crazy. So
Yeah.
it was fun. They were nice. Everybody was super cool. And then this couple comes in with a dog. So they're there too. So now there's like literally 15 people.
That's a popular spot, man.
It is a popular
Some
spot.
people set up tents like right there at the base of it, which I don't think you're supposed to do.
Hey, if they did, I would do my video with a tent behind me. That would be a cool shot too.
Yeah.
I would have no problem with that. It's just little kids screaming and yelling is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
So, but everybody ended up leaving, and I was like, finally. So I film it. It took me 90 seconds to film that. I waited 45 minutes to film a 90-second spot for my video.
You're so patient,
I
man.
had to be, man. I wanted the shot.
Yeah.
So that's what I had to do. And then the hike back, I think it took me 2 hours to get to the falls because I was stopping all the time and all this kind of stuff. It took me 37 minutes to get back to the car.
You're booking it, man.
It wasn't really a hard hike.
No, it's pretty flat.
It wasn't a hard. It's harder coming to it because you go uphill more coming to the falls, but it's still, even at that, it's not a lot.
Now that other trail that runs the other way, is that the one that? So you park at the parking lot and there's that bathroom.
Yeah, there's a big bathroom right there.
And if you hug to the right, you can follow the river, and that takes you to Eagle's Nest.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
Okay, so that was Eagle Nest. Okay.
So you can stay, but you have to walk along the river until it's time to actually turn to go toward Eagle's Nest. And then there's an official trail that runs up the ridge.
On. That's the one I was on. I was on the official trail.
Okay, so that trail, when we went to Eagle's Nest, and it was me and a bunch of people, but David Gray was there too. And whenever he had to leave early on this trip, I don't know if you know about this, but his dog like had an abscess tooth or whatever, and it was snowing. It was just a bad situation, so he had to leave early. So Eagle's Nest, you can get to it. I'll be very vague here. You can get to it by following the river in that path, or you can take the official trail on the ridge that you're talking about. I assume that you're talking about. We'll clarify here in just a second.
It is. It's
and then
exactly
make a right. So you can go either way. So that's the way that he come back, was on the official trail in Clifty Wilderness, because the other trail that follows the river is pretty rugged. Like I took Bridget on it, and there was a couple spots. I think her expectations, like reality has to meet the expectations that I helped set for her. And I was like, well, it's really not that bad of a hike. Like, it's a beautiful hike. You're following the river the whole time. There is some climbing around on sandstone and stuff. And then we got out there, and there's some spots where, you got to twist your body and hunk your head down and climb around on rocks. So it's a little bit more sketchy than, I guess, what she was expecting. Plus, it's hard. So he took the dogs back the other way.
That makes sense.
But I assume that that's what you're talking about, because Copper's Falls, you park at the same parking lot, right?
Yeah, and you just walk down the road and then take a right.
Yes.
Yeah, so I started up the main trail first and didn't realize that I was on the wrong trail.
So you started on the official trail.
Yeah, and just took off up the hill thinking that was the trail.
If you follow that and go left, it'll take you all the way over to Bison Way.
Oh, really?
Like, it goes up and then to the left over the Bison Way, like, the turnoff.
For people who listen, we're talking about the River Gorge, and
yeah,
we do a lot of hiking there. So
yeah, so if you follow that and stay to the left, that will take you all the way over past the turnoff to Bison Way Trailhead.
So that take over like Indian Arch, Indian Staircase, and all that stuff. Okay, very cool. Well, hey, there's something I want to talk about in this podcast besides our hiking trips and all that stuff.
Sure.
People listen to us.
Who listens?
Companies listen to us, Jeremiah.
Okay. I'll indulge
They
you.
listen to us, and actually, it's probably not so much they listen to us as we're not as educated as we think we are. Do you remember us talking about the Sawyer Squeeze?
Yeah, I remember you had some design ideas that would help improve it.
It needed end caps.
Yes.
So you could put it in your hammock or your tent at night and not worry about it leaking on everything without having to bring an extra bag to put it in and all that.
Yeah.
Look at this, Jeremiah. This is a water filter. Look at this. This is. I'll make sure that the Platypus. This is actually a Platypus water filter.
Yeah.
It's called the Quickdraw. Look at
me
this.
see that.
Watch this. Watch this right here. Oh, that's ASMR. Oh, did you hear that? I love that sound.
That's the click.
And then let's see what this one sounds like. Ooh, did you hear that pop? That poof?
Yeah.
That's
Let me see that.
It's got end caps that are watertight, man. I think I got water on the mic here a little bit, but
it's got an O-ring around the.
And then there's one on the inside to hook up to your water bladder or your water bottle.
Oh, it screws both ways.
Yes.
That's a good idea. So then it's not a plug. So for those that are just listening, it basically is a tube That's probably 4 inches long.
It's about the size of a Sawyer squeeze.
Yeah, about the size of a Sawyer squeeze. The top has a lid that unsnaps and opens just like a sport cap.
Yep.
A little bit bigger.
A little more rugged, too. A little more heavy duty than your sports cap.
A little more durable. It's not interchangeable, though, unless this unscrews. Oh, yeah, it does unscrew. So they thought of everything. So if that cap breaks, then you could just buy a new one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got an O-ring.
Oh, you just got water all over yourself.
Oh. Yeah, my leg's wet now. But it's got an O-ring in there, too. And the fibers look like the Sawyer squeeze. If you have ever looked at a picture or cut one apart yourself, it's like basically tiny straws.
Yeah, it's the thing about this filter, it's interesting.
Wait a minute. The bottom looks like the Be-Free, like the fibers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so they tied it up around in there.
Yeah. The thing I like about this, it's got a killer flow rate. I've tried it out. It's got a killer flow rate. And I do like the fact that you can close it off, especially on trips like when it's hot, because you can leave like your Sawyer sitting out overnight, and it can actually dry out a little bit overnight if it's really, really hot out. Like in Kentucky weather, Alabama weather, stuff like that. Dude, you close this thing off, nothing's drying out in this.
So why are you worried about that drying out?
Well, if a filter dries out, you've got to let it moisten up and let those fibers redo their thing. So it's always good to have, like, especially with this one, you have to moisten the filter before you use it. Devin Ashby actually did a video about it, how he got it and didn't read the instructions and just took it out with him. And he couldn't get any water through it because he didn't moisten it before he took it out on trail.
Well, this would be my number one gripe then. Because what if you text me today and say, let's go? Then I can't take the filter.
Why can't you take the filter?
Because you said you had to moisten it.
Yeah.
So am I supposed to moisten it on the way?
Just do it in your kitchen before you leave.
Okay.
Run some water into it, and then close it off. And then in a couple hours, when you get to the trail, you're fine.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
That's
like a 24-hour thing.
Remember, this thing, like, locks it in, bro. Locks. For those people who are listening and not watching, it locks in. Like, there's no water coming out of this thing. It is completely
it's
watertight.
For sure. And it's really light. Like, I don't know.
I think it's a touch heavier than the Sawyer squeeze, but not much.
Yeah.
Like point something ounces. It's not like a full ounce or anything heavier than the Sawyer squeeze.
You want a fill of them and see which one's
you got
heavier?
One? Yeah, pull out Sawyer squeeze. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to do a thorough investigation and test of the weights. And by thorough test and investigation, we're just going to kind of guess.
All right.
So
this is my filter box. I'll just set it up here so we have access to it.
I'll get the Sawyer out here.
I have a mini.
I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. It might be lighter than the Sawyer. It's definitely thinner.
Here's a Sawyer Mini, a Sawyer Micro, and a Sawyer Full.
Those are both awful. So we are not going to use either one of those in the testing of what we're doing today.
I'm just testing the weight.
No, those are awful. They don't count.
Okay.
Only good filters. The Sawyer squeeze is a good filter. I think the Sawyer squeeze is heavier than the Platypus.
I don't know. They feel about the same.
Do you have a scale?
Yeah, but it's downstairs. We can do it after this episode.
We need to do that after the episode. We'll give an update next week so you guys can see. But I'm telling you, from holding these in my hands, I think the Sawyer's heavier. It's definitely thicker.
It depends on if I'm using right or left hand to hold each. My right arm's a lot stronger.
I'm just weak on both arms, so it doesn't really matter for me.
I don't know, man. So the Sawyer squeeze, one of my main gripes with it is this O-ring can come out.
Because it's standing open all the time.
Yeah, but this one has, this is not O-ring, I guess, technically. It is a
gasket.
Yes.
It's a gasket.
Yes, a gasket, like some kind of washer. And that's not what the Platypus has.
It does. It has a blue one. It's right here. It's just a little different shaped.
What?
But that can come out. You see how that's, you can push it in there. See how that's?
Where it snapped?
Yeah, right
see.
there.
Let me see.
You can push in on that.
Oh, this is rubber.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if it stays in better because it's got like the little clips.
Yeah, well, that and you've got the lid. So it's like, usually when people lose them, it's sitting somewhere and it just kind of falls out. So I think, again, it's why I said it in that podcast of ours. I'm a speaker of knowledge and truth, Jeremiah.
So the thread size?
having this on here and on here.
Can you drink through that with a Sawyer?
Yeah, you should be able to. You should be able to drink straight from this right here. Yeah.
A smart water bottle, will that screw on top of it?
Yeah. That'll screw right onto a smart water bottle.
Because I watched a video. Somebody commented either, I think it was on the Backpacking Podcast YouTube channel. I think they commented and they were like, hey, you got to check this thing out. This is the Platypus Quickdraw.
Yeah, you sent me a message and I was like, I already got one.
Yes.
Yeah, because I like I said, I saw the video of Devin from Backcountry Exposure and he talked about it and I was like, what? So I texted him. I said, Devin, buddy,
How much
tell me
are
about
these?
this thing.
This like $30?
Same price as the Sawyers.
$30, $35?
Yeah, something like that.
What's it come with?
You would ask me that. Pretty much the filter.
It doesn't have a bag at all?
No, it doesn't come with a bag.
What? They have a bag in the video.
Well, here's the thing. You can get the bag. I just bought the filter because I have a Canuck bag.
Oh,
so I didn't want to spend the extra money to get the bag and the filter, so I just bought the filter.
Yeah, I have a platypus bladder.
Yeah, so the Canuck filters work, or the Canuck bags work with this. So I figure if I've got the Canuck bag, I'm not going to go spend extra money on a separate bag if I've already got one.
Right.
That works fine.
Canuck. Such an odd name.
Well, I mean, it's from a different country.
Oh, what country?
I don't know.
Think it's China?
No. It's like Denmark or something like that.
Oh.
It's something like that.
Hope they're not offended.
I hope if I'm wrong about being Denmark, please don't be offended. I know it's not an American English word.
Yeah.
And I know it's like a European word. So.
Man,
if there's probably somebody listening right now going, that idiot, it's not Denmark, it's blah 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 blah. And they're like, I'm never listening to this stupid podcast again.
This seems legit, man. I mean,
I can't wait to try it out more. I've only used it once so far, and I really was impressed with it.
I just don't like the pre-water thing, but I get it because it looks like the inside of it is the same as the Be-Free.
Yeah, and the Be-Free, I soak the Be-Free before I use it every trip.
And I don't.
I know you hated the Be-Free.
Well, I like it in theory, but practicality, I don't want to have to wet this either. And
well, once you do it, because you close the end caps, you don't have to anymore.
Man, so will that thing not mold if
I don't
just
know.
throw it in here?
Now, I don't know. That's a good question because I've thought about that too.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I've thought about that too.
Because I let this Sawyer squeeze dry out. Like I don't put it in. So the way I store my gear, all different ways, but the water specifically, the water type gear, whether it's bladders or filters or whatever, I put them in just a plastic container, and I throw a bunch of those silica gel packets that come with whatever, just the humidity.
Yeah.
Sucks the water out of the air, I guess. And I let this thing dry out for a long time. It may even sit out on a shelf for a week before I put it in this box. But then the next time I use it, the flow rate's not affected at all. But I guess it's just a different filtering system.
Might be.
You know what I mean? Like the
I've had a filter. I've had one of those dry out so much that it didn't work. It was. Remember the summer? It was like we had Crow come up from Alabama. No, Crow wasn't able to. No, Crow did come up from Alabama. It was Crow, and then Mark from Michigan came down, and it was me, you, and Jason. And I met you guys up at Hanson's Point.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, up until that point for like 2 or 3 months, all I could do were overnight trips, and every one of those overnight trips, there was no water source where we were going, so I just brought a ton of water on each one of those trips and didn't filter any.
Yeah.
So I had no use for my filter for like 3 months, and it just sat. And so I brought that filter on that trip, and we got down to water, and nothing came out of it. Really? It just didn't work at all. And I'd never put like faucet water or anything like that through it, so it wasn't calcified from that or anything. It was so dried out, it just didn't work anymore. So I'm guessing, my guess is I probably could have moistened it and let it sit overnight or something. It probably would have been fine.
Did you throw it in the trash?
No, I've still got it.
Oh, you should cut it in half.
I think I will. When you mentioned that, I was like, man, that'd be fun to do.
I wonder which direction you should cut it. You think you should do
that way, long way.
Oh yeah, symmetrical.
Do a long way.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know how you do it though.
Jigsaw.
Don't you think it would just smash it to bits?
Be fun to watch though, wouldn't
it? Yeah, I want to see. I want to feel the fibers inside. Sometimes, like you'll make a video.
Use a Dremel. Use a Dremel and do it.
Yeah, you could probably do that. Just be careful. Sometimes I'll make a video and I'll talk about this filter, and I'll Google pictures because other people cut them apart, and I'll just steal one. Don't give any claims to where I got the photo credit from.
They're all from Darwin.
I don't know who they're from. It's just Google.
Jeremiah steals all his video footage from Darwin.
That's right. Yeah, all my B-roll.
All of it.
I just download his and copy
You see all these legs walking across the AT. That's actually Darwin's legs, not Jeremiah's. He never actually did the long trail. That was a big joke.
It was all Darwin.
It was all Darwin.
So yeah, I will. I'll just Google pictures and I'll look, and it looks like they're tiny tubes. But the joke could be on me. It could be the same filter system that the platypus is using.
Well, like I said, I've used this once already, and I was going to use it today, but obviously I can't. I think I'm probably going to go out this weekend somewhere. I don't know. I definitely want to get out this week. I've got to get out this week, or I'm going to go crazy. But I'll definitely be using it when I go out this week. I'll give you more thorough review of what I think of it.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I saw a text message from you saying something about hammock camping or not hammock camping. What's that about?
Oh, I can't say.
Oh, you can't say?
Can't say.
Oh, I didn't know if I was allowed to say or not.
Can't say. No, I can't say.
You have to tell me off air.
I have to tell you off air.
Yeah, because I'm very curious.
Yeah, I will. But with that said, though, this is probably a good time for us to sign off on this episode. So for myself and for Jeremiah, man, you put me on a spot, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. It's
Sorry.
funny. It's funny. But hey, in all seriousness,
Yes.
this is fun, man. I like your new
man.
studio. This is great.
Oh,
Love the new
thanks,
studio. And with that said, for myself and for Jeremiah, you all have a great one. We'll catch you in the next one.
Adios.